Is it there? I have. Okay, Meeta. I think we are live now, and I can see some of your friends, and I can see some of my friends here too. Please feel free while I invite the others to join in. Please feel free to connect with your friends.
I can see Shriram. Hi, Shriram. Hi, Aruna. Hi, Jairam, Uma. So nice to see you all here. Thank you so much for coming. We'll be starting in just a bit. Just waiting for a few more people to join in.
Okay,
hello,
yeah,
Vikram.
let's oh, Vikram happens to be the VIP today. Okay, for everyone joining in, just pay special attention to Vikram because he's our chief guest for the evening.
Oh, that's good. Aruna is mindfully waiting. Yes, that's what you need to do. Is that Rashmi? Rashmi, hello.
Okay, let me say hi to some of my friends. Hi, Shiloh. Hi, Neetu. Hi, Stefan. I think that's Shirley. Hey, Merlin. Good to see you. Renita. Renita is one of my top fans. Another top fan, Ovita. Ansela. I think I saw Ansela. And a special warm welcome to my friend from Philippines. Thank you for joining in. Thank you. Thank you. So we're gonna start in a little bit. Let's just give everybody some time to hop on so that they don't miss out on what Nita has to share.
Hi, Pidda. Good morning to you. Tulip, hello. So good to see you. This is getting more and more exciting as I see the names come up.
Hey Shirley, thanks for joining in. Hi Mish. Thank you. Give us just a few more minutes. We're going to start. Hey Trupti, good to see you. I think Trupti would know Meeta because Trupti is joining us from Orange, which was Max Touch.
No, I can't remember. Trupti, was she with you in hotline?
Yes.
Oh,
Trupti was with us. So, but I don't know if Trupti remembers us. Remembers you? Probably she joined in a little later.
later, perhaps, yeah.
Hey Ansela, thanks for joining in. Meeta, I would like to tell you all who I've welcomed. Some of my so-called top fans and great supporters. I'm really grateful to all of them for supporting my work and for joining in. Hey Cheryl, thank you for joining in. Okay, but so I think we'll give ourselves another minute. So let's not take up everyone's time. So let's get going. We'll just start in another minute. And so, as we wait for a few more to join in, let me invite our lovely audience who is already so active. Maybe request you to tell us where you're joining in from, and also to let us know is if you currently practice mindfulness or meditation. Is it part of your daily life? Is it part of your journey?
Yeah, that'll be nice to know.
Hi, Etabel. Thank you for joining in. Oh, Meeta, I'm going to display this comment. Thank you, Ovita. She says that we both are looking gorgeous. Thank you, Ovi.
Thank you, Ovita.
Okay, so Terence is joining us from Borivali. Thank you, Terence. Of course, I think most of our audience will be joining in from Mumbai, and a few would be joining us from Malaysia here for this evening. Because
There are quite a few from Melbourne, Australia as well.
oh, really? That's lovely, and special thank you to those who are joining in from Melbourne because it's 9:30 p.m. your time.
Yes, there's Aruna, there's Sriram, there's Jay and Uma, there's Rashmi, there's Siddharth who's joining us from New York.
Oh,
And I
lovely.
think it's really early in the morning there, I would guess.
How nice, how nice. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so Meeta, shall we begin? Because
Yes,
it's 7:36. Let's respect everyone's time. Okay. So yes, once again, welcome to all of you joining in today. Welcome to an evening of mindfulness. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Natalie Fernandez Mota, author, blogger, and motivational speaker, and founder of Natalie Inspires You, a platform that inspires women to chase their dreams and make them a reality while staying anchored in faith, hope, and love. Well, the pandemic has made us lose quite a few things. One is safety, because we don't know what COVID 19 can do to us. We've lost connection due to social distancing, and we've lost passion because of the lockdown. However, the good news is that we can regain all of this if we are able to stay resilient. And practicing mindfulness is one way that we can choose to stay resilient. And to tell us more on how we can do that, I have with me here today the charming, calm, and very composed Meeta Hede. Meeta is a yoga and meditation teacher, but always considers herself a student first. Born and raised in Mumbai, and presently living with a family in Melbourne, Australia. She discovered the magic of yoga in 2008, where she stepped onto her mat after dipping in and out of the practice for many years. Armed with a master's degree in psychology and a diploma in classical yoga, Meeta is also the founder of Yoga with Meeta. She believes that she is a bridge making yoga accessible to everyone. Welcome to Natalie Inspires You, Meeta. It is an honor to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm most excited. You know, when we met for the first time 25 years ago, if someone had told me or told us that we would be sitting here and chatting about mindfulness, I would never have believed them. And look at us.
Absolutely. And thank you. Thank you for reminding me, Meeta, that our friendship is over 25 years. And it's a perfect time for that. Because apparently in Mumbai, especially, everyone is celebrating Friendship Day. Something that we kind of miss out on. But let me extend our wishes to you, dear viewers, wishing you a very, very happy Friendship Day. And to Meeta and Vikram, from Glenn and me, cheers to our friendship. May we have many, many years more to come. Okay, so yes, for our viewers, thank you for being so interactive already. And please feel free, to express your views, to like what Meeta shares, and to comment a bit. And of course, at the end of the sharing, Meeta will be happy to answer a few of your questions if you do have any. So yes, Meeta, let's begin. So Meeta, may I ask you first to please give us a little insight and a deeper understanding of what mindfulness is and what it means to you.
Yeah, so mindfulness is simply being in the present moment, just as it is, without bringing any judgment and bringing a certain amount of compassion to your experience. So it's really a simple concept, and we all have it in us to be mindful. All we need to do is practice it to access it.
So beautifully said, and with such ease, Meeta. I wish all of us could really be so calm and composed, and that is why we have you here today, so that you can lead us to that path of mindfulness. And especially today, when we don't really know and we cannot see the finish line of COVID-19, coming into the present moment, reminding ourselves to be calm and composed is something that most of us, if not all of us, need. And if I'm not wrong, I do believe that it is us women who really need to practice mindfulness all the more. And one of the reasons being is because we women are known to be emotional coaches in our families, to our work colleagues, to our friends in the community. And I believe research has also shown that we have high emotional intelligence, and very often, very, very often, we are known to be the glue, the emotional glue in relationships. So, more so now, I think it's very important for us women to stay well, to think well, and to feel well. And for that, Meeta, that's where you come into play. So, you share with us why we women need to really practice mindfulness.
Yeah, it's interesting. You said we are emotional coaches, and that's exactly who we are. You know, we women are programmed genetically and socially to be caregivers. We're always giving to others. We're always sharing. We're always thinking of others first, and we put ourselves right at the bottom. And so when that happens, it can get very exhausting. It's draining. You can get tired doing that day in and day out. So you need to start thinking of what you can do to keep yourself, happy and bring joy in your life. You need to do things that you enjoy. And that's where mindfulness comes in the picture. So make sure you put yourself right at the top. Make sure you fill your cup first before you share that with everyone else. And you can do that by doing things that you enjoy, and do that in a mindful way, because mindfulness is the secret to self-care. So whenever you do something that you enjoy, make sure you're fully present as you're doing it. Immerse yourself in that experience. So that's one of the things that I feel very strongly about for women, because we give so much of ourselves to others. And the other thing is, because we do so much, we're constantly juggling between work, family, and at home we've got kids and husbands and in-laws, parents. You have a social life that you have to manage. Of course, that's perhaps a thing of the past, but it's still there. And when we do this, we tend to multitask. We tend to get, we want to do a lot of things together. And while women are really very good at this, you can all relate to this. All the viewers know how wonderful women are at multitasking. But research has shown that multitasking is really not the most efficient way to work. So it can negatively affect your performance. So you need to prioritize. Pick one thing at a time. So move from multitasking to unitasking. So picking one thing at a time and doing it wholeheartedly with all your awareness, all your attention. So these two things is something that women should definitely try and practice. Bring mindfulness to whatever they do. Prioritize. Bring yourself right at the top, and be present in whatever you are doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm quite sure that our audience here today will resonate with you when you say, give out of your full cup or overflowing cup. I mean, I know you're not talking about being selfish, but you're talking about being of self-care. And if you can invite our audience to interact with us right now and tell us, if they are comfortable, are you really giving out of a full and overflowing cup, or are you kind of giving out of an empty cup? If you're comfortable, please share with us. Of course, Meeta, I mean, there are some days that I am giving out of an empty cup. Some days it's full, and rarely it's out of an overflowing cup. But the days I give out of that overflowing cup, oh my God, I'm at my peak. So it's amazing, amazing. And yep. So let's hope that women around the world, realize the importance of filling in this cup so that we can give it out to the ones around us. And I'm sure they would benefit from the same. So lovely. So thank you. Yes. And another thing for sure about multitasking and unitasking. Oh my gosh, Meeta. Oh, when will we ever reach that stage of moving to being unitaskers? It's not quite easy, right? But that's what we're talking about today. And that's how you're going to help us to steer towards being unitaskers. Okay, brilliant, brilliant. So I would like to say that my hubby here says that he's always giving out of an overflowing cup. But Glenn, may I ask you, is that an overflowing cup or an overflowing mug of beer? Probably it's out of an overflowing mug of beer, but whatever. If it's overflowing, I think we'll take that as good, right, Meeta?
Absolutely. I'm glad Glenn said that. That's really nice of him.
Lovely, lovely. Okay, coming back to the show and coming back to what we're talking about today, and we're talking about mindfulness. And Meeta is here to share with us on how we can be more mindful today. But Meeta, as you speak to us and you speak to us with such ease on how we can practice mindfulness, I'd like to just be a bit frank with you and tell you that it's not that easy for many of us. I don't know if some of our viewers will resonate with me and who will agree with me that there are some days that I just cannot do it. And although I know the benefits of it, somehow or the other, some kind of obstacle seems to be coming in. And, something that comes in the way and takes priority over mindfulness. So, what would you have to share with us? What advice do you have with us who find it very difficult to practice mindfulness every day?
So, two things that I hear most often. One of the things that people say is that they don't have the time. They don't have time to either meditate, don't have time for mindfulness, don't have time to slow down and find stillness. And I understand that, life gets busy and we don't have 1 hour to spare to meditate or to do things that can help us become more mindful. But you can spare a few minutes. You can spare 5 minutes. You can spare 2 minutes. Start small. Start with baby steps. So start doing something small but regularly. So put your phone away. You definitely spend 5 minutes on social media. Take that away. Use that time for yourself. So you can definitely do that. We have this one life. We have this one moment. It's not going to come back. And so we need to fill it with joy, with love, make the most of it. So that is one thing I hear from people not having time. So you don't need time. You can spare 5 minutes in a day. The other thing that I hear very often is that their mind is too busy. My mind is so busy, I cannot sit still. I cannot I can't slow down. I keep having thought after thought after thought. And that's true again. I completely agree. But what you need to know is everybody's there. Everybody has busy minds. That's what our minds do. They keep creating thoughts, one after the other. That's what the mind does. But what you can do is you can introduce your mind to something different. You can introduce your mind to breath awareness. You can introduce your mind to tuning into your senses. You can introduce your mind to tuning into nature. Simple things, do it for short periods of time, do it every day, and it'll just naturally on its own, you will begin to slow down. The thought processing will slow down and you'll find stillness. I mean, it's happened to me, and there are so many benefits of mindfulness that, when you do it for short periods regularly, you'll yourself feel the benefits. So it will reduce your stress, your anxiety. It will just improve the quality of your life. And who doesn't want that? That's what we're all facing at the moment. Stress, anxiety, uncertainty. It will reduce all that. It will reduce the worrying that you do. And research in the field of neuroplasticity has shown that you can actually retrain your brain so that it becomes there's more balance. You can bring more more clarity, improve memory. It lights up parts of the brains that haven't been used for long. So bringing compassion, empathy, pro-social behavior, positivity. You want all of this. So start small, just a few minutes in the day. Do it regularly. I'm sure you can do that.
Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. But if there was one thing I would ask you for our viewers to know, how can we be very specific in a day and practice mindfulness?
Yeah. So I'm going to tell you how you can do that in your everyday living. So you don't have to take away, you don't have to keep, some time for this particular thing. But in the things that you do every day, the activities that you do every day, how you can bring mindfulness in that. So I'm going to be talking about something called mindful tea drinking.
Oh,
and
okay.
and some of us who love tea will love this, but those who don't have tea regularly, maybe you can do it when you have coffee. Maybe you can do it when you have a smoothie, or when you want to have a glass of wine. Now that perhaps got all the attention when I said a glass of wine. We women love our wine, don't we? So you can do it with anything. So it's just bringing mindfulness to a simple activity that you do every day. So assuming that you drink tea every day, because I like tea, so I'm going to explain how you can do that while you have tea. But that can, like I said, that can be for any other, drink, or maybe anything else that you perhaps eat. So starting from scratch, starting from the very beginning, as you get your ingredients out for tea, you get your tea leaves, you get water, you get sugar, you get milk, start tuning into your senses. So you'll start tuning into your sense of sight. Look at the tea leaves. Have you ever looked at tea leaves? Have you ever really looked at tea leaves? Do you know what color it is? So actually look at the tea leaves, look at the colors. What colors are in it? Is it black? Is it brown? Are there some specks of different shades? Look at the mug that you have. Are there some colors on it? Are there some patterns? Look at that mug. Just tune into your sense of sight. Look at whatever is around you. And then as you start making your tea, maybe you put water in a pot, maybe you add the tea leaves in the water, or perhaps you have a kettle, or perhaps you use a microwave. Start tuning into your sense of hearing. You probably hear the water boiling, either in the pot or the kettle, or maybe any sounds that are around you. Just tune into those sounds. Just take it all in. And then as you add everything into your tea, like I love to add spices in my tea. Maybe you like to add something, or you don't. You can just smell the tea as it is. Start tuning into your sense of smell. And that is my absolute favorite. You can pick different notes of different aromas, different fragrances, maybe of the spices, maybe of the tea itself. Maybe the tea itself has some different, aromas. And, your sense of smell is associated with memory and emotion. So it can perhaps trigger something, some emotion. It can probably remind you of someone or some place. Just tune into that. Tune into your sense of touch. As you get that mug, you pour the tea or the coffee in it, feel the mug, feel the temperature. Is it hot? Is it cold? It won't be cold. The tea won't be cold, but maybe something else. Maybe your smoothie is cold. So your sense of touch, that's what you tune into. And then you tune into your sense of taste as you have your first sip. Relish that sip. All of this perhaps just takes 5 minutes, And as you taste your tea, notice if it's sweet, is it sour, is it spicy, is it something else? Just tune into those, senses. And how long will this take? Not more than 5 minutes. So you can do this anytime with any activity, just tuning into your senses. So you can do it, when you're eating. You can do it even when you're cooking. Cooking can be a very mindful experience. So you can do that even when you're walking. You don't have to tune into all of your senses. Maybe pick 2 of your senses and just tune into those. So that's one thing you can do, 5 minutes, 10 minutes of the day while you're having your tea. And if your kids are screaming in the background, ignore them. If the phone rings, ignore it. If it's your husband calling, you know what to do. I'm not going to tell you that. This is your time. This is your time. You need to immerse in that beautiful experience and really find joy in that experience.
Beautiful, Meeta. Beautiful. You presented this so beautifully to us. In fact, in this little explanation, I have found myself just getting so mindful and calm. And I, besides beautiful memories of the masala chai that you brought up, for sure. And I think you can see with the comments of everyone could,
Yeah,
connect when you,
yeah.
because everyone makes a cup of tea or coffee for
Or
sure
coffee
every
or
morning.
something, Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So I'm going to try that for sure. I'm quite sure some of our audience today also would be happy to do the same. So yes, thank you for that. And moving on. So for those of you who joined in a bit late, let me just tell you that we are talking about mindfulness. And I'm Natalie Fernandez Motham, founder of Natalie Inspires You. I'm talking to the calm and composed. And Meeta, I'd like to add that you're looking gorgeous in that sari also. Talking to Meeta Hede, who is joining us from Melbourne, Australia. And Meeta is a meditation and yoga teacher. And she's given us her time to teach us a little bit more on how we can practice mindfulness in our everyday life. So yes, so thank you for that. And I must say, Meeta, we have a brilliant audience. Okay, I can see that they connected so well with what you just shared, and thank you for being so interactive. And yep, when
I
you
think they're also interacting with each other. I can see that they're.
oh,
Yeah,
is it?
I can see Vikram and Tulip are talking to each other.
That's nice. That's nice. It's good as long as they connect and they connect mindfully. Am I right? That's
Yes.
what we are talking about today. So brilliant. So moving on. Now, Meeta, we all know that you are a yoga and meditation teacher. You teach at Monash University and a few other universities. But I believe the physical classes are on hold right now. So you've moved to online yoga classes, right?
Yes.
So if any of you would be interested, please feel free to contact Meeta. But do follow her work and her page. I have my team putting up Meeta's pages, the link to her page, Yoga with Meeta on Facebook and Instagram. And she has lovely tips that come up every day, something that you can follow. But for today, Meeta, we are not going to let you go without you telling us giving us a few more tips on how we can practice mindfulness in our everyday life without actually
Yeah.
stopping and going and sitting for 1 hour to meditate because we don't have the time for that. Sorry. But if you could just share with us, like you did with the tea and the coffee and the exercising, a few more tips because I think that's what today's show is all about. So over to
Yeah.
you.
So another thing that I feel very strongly about is mindful listening. So a lot of us are, we're not very good listeners, and so it might be something that you um, learn, and it's a skill, it's an art to really listen mindfully. So something that you can slowly develop over a period of time with these few tips that I'll give you. So why mindful listening is important for all of us is because of what we've all gone through in the last 1.5 years, and gone through so much, so many changes, so much uncertainty, so many challenges. And we perhaps have lots to share and to talk with others. Kids might want to tell you something, friends might want to share something with you, and not everyone is ready to listen. So, few things you can do as a friend, as a good mom, as a good spouse, as a good daughter is to listen mindfully. So, for example, you start having a conversation with someone. Our most immediate reaction that we want to do is to stop and to interrupt and to tell them what you want or tell them what you feel. So instead of doing that, when you start a conversation with people, firstly come there with a certain honesty, come there with a certain genuine interest in that conversation. Because when that person comes to you to share something, he or she values you. They think you are, worthy And so respect that, honor that, give them that time, give them that respect, and really genuinely listen to them. Keep your phone away. Listen to everything they say without judging, without criticizing, and without interrupting. And these are very natural things that we tend to do. We do judge very easily. So, just something that you can slowly learn, coming to a conversation, speaking to people when you're speaking to people, speak and listen without judgment, without interrupting, without criticizing. Second thing you can do is actually look at them, gaze deeply, not in a creepy way, but in a nice, friendly way. So really looking at them as you talk, instead of looking at your phone, instead of looking away somewhere else, just looking at them. Something so simple. So they feel that connection with you. They feel they are heard. They feel that you are supporting them. They feel the empathy that you come with. Another thing you can do is see for some non-verbal cues as you are talking, because a lot of people are not always able to express themselves um, fully. So you might see some things through facial expressions, through their hand movements, maybe. And since it's an art and it probably requires a little bit of practice, but you can do it. You can try these things. Maybe you learn something from those non-verbal cues about what the person is saying. And last but not the least is tune into yourself as you are listening. So, what that means is notice how you are feeling as you listen. Are you calm and composed, or are you getting agitated? Is there an urge to speak and say something? Which I understand. A lot of us want to do that. We want to interrupt and say what we want, what we are thinking, but give them that time, let them speak. And all you do is listen and tune into how you are feeling, to be more helpful, to bring more mindfulness in that experience. And I think that will make a really big difference, because most people just want to be heard. They don't want a solution. They don't want a fix. They just want to talk and be heard. And so all you're doing is giving them, a special time where you listen to them. So I hope this. When you finish with this, I want all of you to, for your next 3 conversations, I want you all, that's a challenge for all of you. For the next 3 conversations, I want all of you to listen mindfully. Doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter what they are saying, just listen. And very often we don't listen to the kids when they come and tell us things. We often don't listen to kids. So that is another big thing. Let's listen to our kids. Let's listen to our kids, the teenagers and the younger adults, because often they may not be able to express much. So really listen to them and see what's going on. Maybe you'll pick something from those conversations.
Oh, Mitha, you've definitely struck a few chords in our hearts. I can tell you for sure. Mindful listening is something that I think all of us really need to work on. And especially now, when we're confined in 4 walls of our homes for such a long time. It's difficult, but getting a reminder and getting this little homework from you to do it in the next 3 conversations, I think it will definitely help for sure. I for sure am going to do it, and I'm quite sure viewers today also, in the silence of their heart, would have decided that they're going to do that. So thank you, Meeta, and I'm going to request our viewers today that when you decide to make that mindful cup of tea or mindful cup of coffee, or you decide to mindfully listen, whisper a small prayer and your best wishes for Meeta for sharing this with us today. Thank you, Meeta. Thank you for that. Beautiful. And moving on, as we come to the final segment of this talk for the evening, I'd like to share with our viewers today that when Meeta and I were discussing this evening and we were speaking about mindfulness, she shared with me her own personal reasons for having embarked on this journey. And I asked her, Meeta, Would you be happy to share it with our viewers today? Because that was not on the cards, but she so humbly accepted it. And the reason why I'm inviting her to share this story is because uh, there is much that we can learn from her story. So, Mitha, can't wait to hear that again.
So this is perhaps going to be the most difficult part of our conversation. But no, it must be done. So um, some years ago, maybe about 15, 20 years ago, I used to be a very different person. I used to always be angry, annoyed, and irritated all the time. Like it was just who I was. And I was sensitive and I was just snappy. Imagine all of this in one person. I can't imagine I was like that, but this is who I was. I was just ready to react, ready to pounce, always angry. And I knew it wasn't right. It didn't feel good. And I wanted to change that, but I didn't know how to do it. Um, I had no idea why I would react like that. And after getting angry and irritated, I would feel very guilty and I would feel terrible about it. But I didn't know what sort of triggered it. And that's when my journey with yoga and meditation started. And it probably took a few months for me to feel that, feel the big changes happening. But the most profound moment happened when I realized what breath awareness is. Just breath awareness, something so simple. We breathe every day. How many of us actually pay any attention to breathing? So just something as simple as bringing awareness to my breath brought big changes in my life. It was just life changing. It transformed me completely. And I started very small, so I would spend only a couple of minutes, maybe maximum 5 minutes of breath awareness and just awareness. It wasn't that I was doing any pranayama or any techniques. I was just being aware of my breath for a few minutes a day, and within months, I saw big changes. So that was a big thing for me, and I really hope that it can help you if you try to incorporate that in your life.
Thank you, Meeta. And, listening to you, I can just say that what we have realized today is that accepting, facing your shortcomings for the betterment of your family and for those around you is something very difficult to do. But if we choose to do it, we can certainly make our homes, our community, and the world a much better place to live in. So
So
thank you for sharing. Very heartwarming and brilliant, brilliant. So that kind of brings us to the end of today's show. But Meet and I have something planned for all of you today. Okay, and for that, let me just say that we have something to ask you. Okay, and something for you to reflect upon. So pay attention and give pause. And this is really your time to practice mindfulness and to keep in mind all that Meeta has shared with us today. So, post pandemic, and let's hope that this is sometime soon, we would like to ask you and ask ourselves, are we going to break down? Are we going to break even? Or will we be able to break through? Of course, to break even and to survive will be one of the best things that could happen to all of us. But what's even better is if we will be able to break through, emerge victoriously, and contribute to make the world a better place. So, as this pandemic continues, we all have a choice to stay in emotional suffering or to embark on a journey of emotional recovery and maintain good health both physically and mentally. And today, Meeta has so beautifully shared how mindfulness, simple everyday tips, can help us to have a healthy and happy life. Something that I believe, and I do believe that you will agree with me, something that will help us to break through this pandemic. What choice will we all make today? Let's think about it. And as we think about it, let me invite Meeta to lead us into a very quick, short meditation that will help us to perhaps come about with some answer. So, Meeta, over to you.
So this will be perhaps a 2-minute meditation, and it'll be with breath awareness. So just coming to a comfortable seated position and taking a breath in and taking a breath out, bringing awareness to your breathing and just softly gazing in front of you, taking another breath in. And now as you breathe out, gently closing your eyes, staying connected with your breath, just noticing the breath as it is. Not changing anything about it, not trying to manipulate it. Just notice your inhales. Notice your exhales. And as you take the next breath in, notice the air entering your nostrils. And as you breathe out, notice that air leaving the nostrils. Can you feel the warmth of the air as it leaves your nostrils? And can you feel the cool air entering your nostrils? And just staying connected with your breath. And as you take your next breath in, notice the pace of your breath. Has it slowed down a bit? Or does it seem all the same? Just bringing awareness to your breath without judgment, without any attachment. Just noticing the pace. And as you breathe in again, notice the little gap, that tiny space between your breaths. A little pause between your inhales and your exhales. Just notice that pause, that little gap. Does it feel short and quick? Or does it feel spacious? Just bringing awareness, staying connected with your breath. And as you take your next breath in, notice how your body feels right now. Notice your mind state. Are you a bit calmer? Is the body a bit more relaxed? And then when you're ready, gently open your eyes.
I think, Meeta, we want to stay in this state. Don't want to go back into the chaos. We're happy to stay here. Happy to stay calm and stay within this lovely, peaceful bubble. But for sure, after today, we know that if we choose to do this regularly, we can choose to have definitely, definitely a more peaceful, calm, and like you, controlled environment. So thank you, Meeta, and
Thank you very
definitely
much.
amazing, as our audience says. And I'd like to really say thank you to the audience. You've been so interactive. You've helped us enjoy the show because you've been an interactive audience. So thank you for that. And Meeta, do you have time for just a question or two in case anybody? Great, great. So if there's anybody who would like to ask
It's only
Meeta,
10:15 here, so I definitely have time.
wow, only 10, 15
I'm
Meeta,
kidding.
brilliant. So So yes, coming
Usually
back.
I would be in bed by now. 9:30, 10 is my bedtime. So I had a bit of coffee before this show so that I could stay awake. But
Thank
no,
you.
I'm
Great.
ready for questions. It's
No,
perfectly
so
fine.
it's so grateful for that. So yes, coming to our audience. Please, Meeta has volunteered her time, and we're doing this for the betterment of the community, for a more healthy and happy community. If there is anything you'd like to ask Meeta, this is your chance. She says she has a little more time, and if there's anything you want to know about mindfulness, about yoga, if you want to know, you want any more tips, please feel free to ask her. She is here. Everyone seems to be saying a big thank you to you.
Thank you to everyone who's attended. Really, really big thank you. Thanks, Kira. Thanks, Mary. I saw a few names. Thanks, Rashmi. Really, thank you, everyone. And like you said, they have been so interactive, and that's so motivating, so encouraging. Beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. Great, lovely. So I think seems like our audience and our viewers certainly have their fill of mindfulness for today, and hopefully, Meeta, we hope that after today's session, they will be able to give out of an overflowing cup and choose to practice all the lovely tips that you have given us today. So let me end today's show by saying a deep, deep, great thank you to you, Meeta, for spending this time with us, for choosing to share not just your time, but even your expertise, mainly so that we have a healthy community and to do something for the women. So sending you loads of gratitude and hugs for deciding to hop on for this call at 9:30 p.m. so that we could have come to the Indian audience and the audience in KL at a time where they would all be free. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Natalie. Really, a big thank you to you for doing such a splendid job, offering this to us in the comfort of our homes. Really, I mean, we are just sitting in our homes, able to learn so much. And I want all of you to learn something from this and share it with others, share it with the community, share it with your loved ones, because that's how, you can share and this world can be a better place. So thank you.
Most welcome. It was my pleasure to have you here today and to have you here on Friendship Day, celebrating our friendship of 25 years. And with that, my dear friends, thank you so much to each and every one of you for joining in. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for being such an interactive audience. I've thoroughly enjoyed this talk show, Meeta. I'm sure you have also. Thank you. Thank you so much. And yes, a gentle reminder to whisper a little prayer and your best wish for Meeta as you practice mindfulness in gratitude for what she has shared with all of us today. And with that, let me also remind you that stay tuned to Natalie Inspires You. For the month of August, we have a lot more coming up on mental health, and yes, a lot more coming up thereafter. So thank you to you, and God bless you. And Meeta, do you have anything a few final words to say to the audience before we say bye?
Just try the things that we did today, give it a shot, and stick to it.
I'm sure with will. And with that, let me just say good night, good evening, and stay blessed, stay mindful.
Thank you.
And I'll just pull up some of the lovely comments while the audience chooses to leave this meeting. But you can see, Meeta, you've added so much of value to the lives of so many people. I can see that there were around 70 who joined in on YouTube. I don't know how many more joined in on Facebook, but
Lovely.
I'm sure that they have taken a lot more back to their lives. Thank you to your friends who joined in, and thank you to my friends and my family. And a special thank you to my team behind the scenes. I have
Yes.
a big tech support here who are my three kids because all of this sometimes gets too much for me. And thank you to my sister Shirley. If you see, she has been updating
I have,
everyone
yes,
with all
I've
the
seen
links.
that.
And also, I have another coordinator of mine and a good friend of mine, Renita Fernandez from Mumbai, who also
Beautiful.
helps me a lot. I'd also like to thank Merlin Concesio because she is another one who has great support for my work and helps me. So without this team, it would be not really possible to put up a great show. So thank you to you, and thank you to Vikram and Risha for supporting you in your work and for making today happen. And of course, I would always like to end with a special thank you to my dear husband Glenn for his support to my work. And for all those who are still on the show, I'd like to say that today we had such a varied audience. We had people joining in from Australia, from New York, from Hong Kong, from Mumbai, of course, most from KL, and Australia, oh, and
Yeah,
Philippines, from the Philippines. So
wow. Yeah,
mindfulness has just trickled around the world today, Meeta, thanks to you and thanks to all your sharing. So, to everybody who shared our post, thank you so much for everybody who joined in. And I do believe that these recordings would automatically stay on for some
okay.
time. So, if you feel that there is anyone who would benefit from what Neeta has shared, please go ahead and share it with them. At the end of the day, mental health is something that the world is talking about, and mindfulness will certainly help them. Okay. And with that, let's finally say good night. God bless and thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Natalie.